Travel and a very warm welcome to this special. We're building up to the match between two best friends, Mayank Agarwal and Rahul playing against each other. Punjab Kings versus the Lucknow Super Giants. This match is being played at the MCA Stadium in Pune, and the news from the MCA Stadium is that Punjab Kings have won the toss and they have opted to bowl first. Nikhil, you and I can keep discussing the reasons behind why captains are choosing to chase. But yet again, despite the captain at the toss saying there is not going to be due, he's decided to chase first. Again, I think it just comes down to wanting to know what the target is and then going about your plans. Yeah. For Punjab Kings, they've gone in with the same team. So no changes for Punjab. And for Punjab, like I said, no changes. Lucknow have made one change. Avesh Khan is back. He didn't play the last game. Remember, Mohsin Khan played that game. Avesh Khan had a small niggle and he seems to have recovered from that. So he is very much, in the team. But yes, the news from the stadium in Pune, MCA Stadium in Pune, is that Punjab have won the toss and they have opted to bowl first. So now for Lucknow Super Giants, given that they bat deep, Nikhil, and what we've seen is the average score here batting first is around 170.
Correct.
What are you expecting from Lucknow Super Giants?
I think Lucknow bat deep, and therefore I think they will cross that average score batting first. I think Lucknow is a team capable of scoring I think 185, 190 even on this wicket, which is expected to provide some assistance to the pacers in the first few overs, as Danny Morrison said in his pitch report. I'm a bit flummoxed why Mayank Agarwal has won the toss and decided to chase.
Punjab says that they prefer to chase with the knowledge of the score. That's what Mayank Agarwal said. So you have the target and then you know how to go about your chase. And like I said, Punjab Kings have gone unchanged, whereas for LSG, they've made one change. Avesh Khan has come in for Manish Pandey. He says because it's a high scoring ground and getting Holder in, who's not gotten much of a chance, would help too. So what they've gone is with an extra bowler. Manish Pandey has been dropped. Like we were saying, instead of Krishnappa Gautam, in fact, they've continued to get to now have one extra seamer, Mohsin Khan, still in the playing 11 with Avesh Khan.
Absolutely. I think it's a good move. Obviously, Avesh Khan had to come back. He is their best bowler with 11 wickets. I think Manish Pandey was a liability. I think this is a good change. Maybe Gautam Gambhir has something to do with this. Manish Pandey just scored 60-odd runs in 6 matches. He was not there. With everyone else performing, at least performed in one match, Manish Pandey had made no contribution. So I think it's a very good move by LSG.
Okay, then let's take a look at the playing 11 first. For Punjab Kings, like I said, no changes, but what needs to change here is Mayank Agarwal needs to score runs. That's what needs to change. At the top, Shikhar Dhawan's given them the starts. He's been in good form, but the captain is struggling for form. Bhanukama Rajapaksa, very impressive in the matches that he's played, and thankfully Punjab got him back from the last match and have continued after his performance in the last match. Liam Livingstone, again, the finisher for them, has finished off matches for them. Johnny Bairstow's form is a concern. Jitesh Sharma has been, again, impressive. He's been, he's been doing the job. He's been, given that this is his first season, he's with them, he's playing well. Rashid Dhawan, a better choice than Shah Rukh Khan, who was struggling, so him brought in. And then I think with the bowlers, Kagiso Rabada may not be in that top form that we've seen him in the past, but yet, along with ARSHDEEP Singh. It's a good team if the batting gets going with Mayank Agarwal scoring runs. This is a very good team.
I see 3 problems in this team. 3 players who are not performing. One, Mayank Agarwal, average of less than 20, amongst the worst openers in the tournament, along with Rohit Sharma and Ruturaj Gaikwad. Johnny Bairstow in the middle order, again a big ticket player, not performing at all, not even one high impact performance. And then Sandeep Sharma with the ball, a veteran actually, a very good bowler historically with the new ball in the IPL, but not performing this season, also going for runs. So apart from these 3 weak links, the rest of the team, everyone has at least done their bit in the tournament. But it is very important for them, like we discussed in a Hindi show also, that Mayank Agarwal scores some runs. He has to now play the role of the anchor.
That's
Let
right.
Shikhar Dhawan change from anchor to aggressor like he has done in the previous 2 seasons midway into the tournament. It's very important not only for Punjab to get a steady start, but to also get the run rate going.
Okay, now let's take a look at Lucknow Super Giants. Like we said, one change for them. They've gone in with an extra bowling option. So they have brought in Avesh Khan, but instead of dropping Mohsin Khan, who'd come in place of him, they have dropped Manish Pandey. And that then means that Marcus Stoinis possibly is going to go at the top of the order, maybe one down. That's probably what they'd want to do. But this was something that we've talked about in the past shows as well, Nikhil, where consistently we have felt that Marcus Stoinis and Jason Holder were coming way down the order.
Absolutely, and I think this is a much better team, for Lucknow Super Giants. Marcus Stoinis may come at 3, even Badoni might come at 3, and then you have Huda, Krunal Pandya, Holder. You can mix and match. Yeah. These batsmen can be used as floaters. So I think it's a very good lineup now. They've strengthened their bowling, and rightly so. They have variety in the attack. Avesh Khan coming back is a big boost for them. He's been their best bowler, highest wicket taker. Ravi Bishnoi is very restrictive. Krunal Pandya has also been very restrictive. I think LSG on paper is a superior team.
Yes, they are. In fact, Marcus Stoinis was asked by the host broadcaster that, what is the position that he'd want to bat at? And he said, the higher the better. But I do whatever the team wants me to do. And rightfully so. When he's done this for Delhi, he's done it for his BBL side. We know he can bat, in the top order as well. Now, how good have Lucknow Super Giants been in the tournament? Right after the auction, we talked about how it's a good team. They've got a lot of all-rounders. It's a team that bats deep. They can go all aggressive, something that we've seen from Lucknow. Even with their bowling, they've got a decent bowling lineup. But just look at that. One of the things has been KL Rahul and his form. And somewhere he's got, it's ironic, Nikhil, because he's got the cushion of having a really good batting lineup, which helps him play freely. But he's the one who is doing bulk of the scoring, not the others.
Absolutely. And KL Rahul has continued to pile on the runs. He's been the IPL run machine since 2018. No batsman in the IPL, Indian or overseas, has scored more runs than KL Rahul. But the important supporting stat there is the strike rate of 148. Far too long for Punjab Kings, Kings 11 Punjab in the past. KL Rahul was playing in his shell. He was playing the role of the anchor accumulator, almost forced by the result of the team. He was taking the burden of the team upon himself. Yeah. He was scoring, his strike rate was in the low 130s, and there was a stat, when KL Rahul scored a 50 at a strike rate of 140 plus, Punjab won more than 65% of their matches. When his strike rate dropped to 130 in scoring a 50, they lost more than 60% of their matches. Now, the same thing is happening for Lucknow Super Giants. He's scoring at a very high strike rate and they are winning more. KL Rahul is best when he attacks at the top of the order. Of course, they shouldn't have lost early wickets. Other things being constant, he should attack. That's his natural game. He is the aggressor at the top of the order. And that is what he's doing in this tournament.
Okay, then there is Quinton de Kock. Again, some very good scores from him. But last few matches, Nikhil hasn't been getting the scores. 225 runs with 250s. Again, like I said, with KL Rahul being in this super form, some of those things are just getting overshadowed or rather going unnoticed in de Kock's case as well. How do you explain this? You would want de Kock to be more consistent, especially because you are getting into the business end of the tournament and they are a side that depends on their top order.
Absolutely. He's done well. He hasn't done badly, but it's been just above par performance. It's not been an exceptional performance. It's not been the performance, by de Kock, what he did in 2019 and 2020 for Mumbai Indians, scoring 500 plus runs in each of those seasons when they won the tournament. He needs to be more consistent. And maybe if Rahul goes aggressive at the top of the order, de Kock can bat at the strike rate of 130, but then he needs to score a 70 or 80. They expect de Kock to, be, not fail in any of the innings and play the role of the anchor. I think that should be the combination at the top of the order.
Okay, then when we talk about their bowling, standout bowler for them, Avesh Khan, and how good has he been?
He's been absolutely brilliant, the highest wicket taker. I think he's taken 11 wickets at a brilliant strike rate. Also, he's picking wickets in the power play. He's also picking wickets in the death overs. And therefore, he's a key bowler for them. As an inclusion after the injury, I think is a big plus for LSG.
Then also talk about Jason Holder. We saw the impact straight off he made when he came into the tournament, with his all-round performance. But 9 wickets in 7 matches. He's such an asset for any team, and Lucknow have done very well to get him at the auction, and he's showing what he can do. He's done this in the past, but to do it again,
absolutely.
brilliant.
See, 9 wickets in 7 matches. He's again a very good option on the death because of his height, especially on this Pune wicket. The pitch report is suggesting that it will offer a lot to the seam bowlers and a lot extra bounce on this wickets. With Holder's height, I think extra bounce, he can have a lot of, batsmen in trouble just with the, extra purchase he gets of the wicket. The ball, short of length ball coming at their throat. So I think Holder could be a very key bowler today. Also, he's a very good batsman. He's been a batsman for the crisis for the West Indies for the longest time. But he can also hit the long ball. So a very high utility cricketer.
Okay, then Krunal and Ravi Bishnoi, and you can see how much Krunal Pandya, the Pandya brothers, are being missed by Mumbai Indians. But you look at Krunal here for Lucknow Super Giants, last game against his former team, scoring quick runs, getting wickets. Also, just look at that combined economy of 7.46. So they are playing that holding role well.
Absolutely. See, they might have not. Krunal never picks heaps of wickets. That's not his USP. But he's done this for Mumbai Indians consistently. He controls the middle overs, and he provides. He's provided enough number of cameos for them. Bishnoi also hasn't picked as many wickets as other leg spinners have in this tournament, but the combined economy they're doing their job. They're controlling the middle overs. They're not letting the run rate go. Less than 7.5 is an excellent economy rate by the 2 spinners.
Okay, then let's talk about Punjab Kings and what they've done. Punjab Kings on paper have been a good side, but they have underperformed in the IPL. Bowling has been under par. Nikhil and I have been talking about it. And also, this dependence on just Shikhar Dhawan, who's been getting you the runs, 302 runs at an average of 43. He's 4th in the list of orange cap holders. But Mayank Agarwal, that's the big letdown. 136 runs in 7 innings, average of 19.42, Nikhil. I mean, this is a difficult situation that Punjab Kings finds itself in, and they would really be hoping that Agarwal finds form now.
Absolutely. And actually, they can try something which is not very radical. I think they can try Johnny Bairstow at the top of the order. I mean, he's failing at the bottom, in the bottom half. Agarwal is failing at the top of the order. Bairstow has opened enough number of times. He's led England's white ball revolution, one of the most successful limited overs openers. So why don't you try Bairstow with Dhawan? So left and right combination remains. And then you get Mayank Agarwal down the order. He's batted at 4 or 5 before also. So, that may just work for them. Maybe both the batsmen come in form.
Okay, then there is Johnny Bairstow, though. He's struggling himself. 47 runs in 5 innings. That's the other thing with Johnny Bairstow. He's been in the side because of his reputation, because with Bhanuka Rajapaksa and the form that he was in before he was taken out of the team, he should have been in. Johnny Bairstow, again, when he was bought for 2 crores base price, we said, wow, what a buy for them. And yes, he has scored runs for Sunrisers Hyderabad. We know how dangerous he can be, but just not finding runs. But opening, yes.
But opening. I think Bairstow is best utilized in the top, if not opening, in the top 3. I think he should open because he can, he makes excellent use of the fielding restrictions by going over the top. I think they should, think out of the box, and it's not a radical move. He's done it in the past. It should come to them. It should come from Agarwal actually. He should, push himself down the order and let Bairstow open.
I don't see Mayank Agarwal doing that for them. Okay, then let's talk about their leading wicket taker, Rahul Chahar, 10 wickets at an economy of 7.59. And if we were talking about Pandya brothers being missed by Mumbai Indians, look at that, Rahul Chahar. How could they let him go and then not get a quality spinner in place of him? Rahul Chahar is doing what he was doing for Mumbai Indians.
Absolutely. Rahul Chahar has been brilliant, 10 wickets, also not conceding runs. Leg spinners have done brilliantly in this tournament, whether it's Rahul Chahar, Vadandu Hasaranga, wrist spinners rather, Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal, lead the wickets charts. So I'm not surprised. Rahul Chahar, a big loss for Mumbai Indians. but a big gain for Punjab Kings. So he actually was India's #1 leg spinner till before this rise of Kulcha has again emerged. Now I think he's at #3 on the pecking order. But he's doing his bit. He was good in the last season. He's been consistently good. When MI won in 2019 2020, he was the unsung hero for them, picking 15-16 wickets in the middle overs at a very low economy rate.
Okay, then we've talked about Punjab Kings bowling, but one of the things, Nikhil, in this season, what we've seen is that your top teams are the ones with good bowling units. Top teams are the ones with the best economy, with the best strike rate, be it Sunrisers Hyderabad, Gujarat Titans, Rajasthan Royals as well. In comparison, if you see Punjab Kings, 12 wickets in death overs, second lowest. And I would think that if you look at the number of wickets they would have taken in the power play, it would also be very low.
Absolutely. And this has been the problem for Punjab Kings, that, although some of the bowlers have been restrictive, they're not picking enough wickets. The bowling strike rate has been a problem. And as you just mentioned, the top 4 teams or the top 3 teams are all who have 3 to 4 world-class bowlers, and all of them either are in the top list, in the top 2 for most wickets in the power play, most wickets in death overs. And wicket taking is still a more important quality than restricting the opposition, even in 2020 cricket.
Yeah.
Even in 2020 cricket.
I would think that Sunrisers Hyderabad would have the best economy
and the bowling average.
At the bowling average,
Yes.
and Gujarat second on that list,
Yes.
and also would have taken maximum number of wickets in the death overs, and I think Gujarat in the power plays.
Correct.
That's how good
Correct.
they've been
That's the way it
in
was,
the
yeah.
tournament. One of the reasons why they are right at the top. Okay, now let's talk about the X Factor players before we get to the pitch and what we can expect from the X Factor players. Has to be Marcus Stoinis. We've talked about him, and Liam Livingstone. Let's talk first about Marcus Stoinis. Marcus Stoinis showed us what he can do, what he's capable of when he played for Delhi. Again, as a floater, you could tell him to go up the order. You could use him as a finisher. Here, somewhere, we've talked about it earlier as well, he hasn't been given that opportunity when he comes in to try to finish the game. It's way too late. So rightfully, I think they will promote him up the order. But if he gets an opportunity, we know what he can do.
Absolutely. A very talented all-rounder, one of the most talented all-rounders in T20 cricket in the world. A veteran in BBL, most runs in BBL since 2018. A very versatile batsman. He can, open, bat at number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We already saw what he can do with his performance against RR. He almost pulled it off for LSG. That 38 of 13 balls, I think, almost they lost by 3 runs. Also a very useful right-arm medium-fast bowler. He can give you the occasional wicket or 2. But his bat, I think today he'll bat at 3, and I think he has the capability of changing the match in the space of a few deliveries, and that is what makes him so special.
Okay, then let's talk about Liam Livingstone. Again, we've seen him do this. We've seen him hit the longest sixes in leagues, but to do it in the IPL and to do it consistently again, Liam Livingstone, the standout. If you look at the IPL so far, out of the 3, if you look at the top 3 finishers, he's right there.
He's right
with Dinesh Karthik and Shimron Hetmeyer.
Absolutely. He's been absolutely sensational. He's, a lot of people questioned, why is Liam Livingstone been given the kind of money he's being bought at the auction in Bengaluru in February. But he's shown that what he's made of. He has a middle over strike rate of 172 overall in the IPL. This is not this IPL, it's overall in the IPL. It's the fourth highest in IPL history. Of course, he produced that brilliant innings in Trent Bridge, which was the fastest century, I think, in 48 deliveries for England against Pakistan last year. He's already played a couple of, match-winning knocks this season. Liam Livingstone is a very, very, very destructive batsman. Again, he should not only be used as a pinch hitter in the lower order or just a 10 or 20 ball cameo specialist. I think he's a batsman who offers much more, has much more pedigree. He should be ideally batting at number 4 or 5 to make maximum use of him.
Okay, now News9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to if you want the latest from the world of sports. We've got videos, analysis on the match, update, interviews, lots of things on News9 Sports. We've also got the link in the description box below, so you can subscribe to it. You can also press the bell icon for all the notification on the fresh videos. Okay, now we move on to some of the key battles. Before that, for all of you who've just joined us, the news from the MCA Stadium in Pune is that Punjab Kings, they won the toss and they have opted to bowl first. Punjab have not made any changes to their playing 11, so they've gone in with the same playing 11. Mayank Agarwal saying there's not going to be due, but they do want to get a target that they can chase down. So Punjab Kings winning the toss, opting to field first. For the Lucknow Super Giants, there's just one change in Avish Khan coming in. He was out in the last match due to his niggle. He comes back and Manish Pandey sits out. So they've gone in with an extra bowler, given that it's a high-scoring ground. This is what KL Rahul said at the toss, high-scoring ground. We've gone in with an extra bowling option. So Mohsin Khan stays in and Avish Khan comes into the playing 11. And like Nikhil said, I agree with him, a good move for them. It also gives them an opportunity to have Marcus Stoinis, Jason Holder go up the order. You know, they were getting wasted way down. Okay, now let's talk about the key battles to watch out for, some of the matchups that we're looking forward to. Nikhil, the first one being Rabada versus Quinton de Kock.
The all-South African battle. This will be a fascinating battle in the power play, and a battle which is very surprisingly dominated by the left-hander against one of the best limited over bowlers in recent times. I mean, Rabada has been absolute brilliant in the IPL, not in the last edition, but in the previous two editions. I think he still has the best bowling average and strike rate for a fast bowler in the IPL. But look at this, a very high strike rate, not even dismissed him once. Overall, these are overall T20 numbers. So, it's a battle which has been clearly dominated by Quinton de Kock. But another battle in the power play, which I'm looking forward to, is ARSHDEEP Singh versus Quinton de Kock. That's because ARSHDEEP has already dismissed him twice. ARSHDEEP hasn't picked many wickets in this tournament, but ARSHDEEP has already dismissed Quinton de Kock twice. And ARSHDEEP also is one of the best death bowlers in this tournament with an economy of less than 6. So that is an interesting battle because somehow I think he has the wood over Quinton de Kock, and that we could see that pan out in the power play today.
Okay, then the other battle that we're looking forward to is Shikhar Dhawan versus Dushmantha Chameera. 6 innings, he's been dismissed twice, strike rate of 120, 25 balls, 30 runs. Dhawan hasn't really opened up against Dushmantha Chameera.
He hasn't. I mean, he hasn't, and also Chameera has got him twice. Chameera has had a very hot and cold sort of a tournament. Some spells he's looked brilliant, some spells he's looked, very, very cold and sort of, not up to the mark. Dhawan, although he has scored 300 plus runs and is amongst the top 5 run getters, we haven't seen the best of Shikhar Dhawan yet. We haven't seen those, centuries, 80, 90s at a strike rate of 180, 170, but this is the time Shikhar Dhawan suddenly decides to change his role. Same pattern was followed last year and year before last. Mid-season, he decided to change his role. Of course, a lot depends on how Mayank Agarwal does at the other end. But Shikhar Dhawan versus Chameera would be interesting because Chameera has dismissed him twice and Dhawan hasn't sort of, got going against the Seamer.
Okay. Then in the middle overs, the battle that we're looking forward to, Liam Livingstone versus the leg spinners. And this is again interesting. 68 innings, 414 balls. He's been dismissed 21 times. Strike rate of 147.
Yeah, this is interesting because one would expect, English batsmen, even Livingstone, to not dominate leg spinners like the way he's done. But if you see the strike rate, a strike rate of 147 against leg spinners, he's done well. Although he's been dismissed twice in 414 deliveries, which basically means a strike rate of 20. But, that also depends because Liam Livingstone is coming down the order sometimes. He doesn't bat at 4 constantly in all T20 cricket. So I think Liam Livingstone has done well against leg spinners, and therefore, it's going to be an interesting battle today between Liam Livingstone and Rahul Chahar.
And also Marcus Stoinis versus Rahul Chahar. 3 innings, 12 balls, 32 runs, strike rate of 267, dismissal 0.
This is again a very interesting. Marcus Stoinis again has dominated Rahul Chahar. If you see those 32 runs in 12 balls, I mean basically he's taken him to the cleaners. That's almost scoring 3 runs per ball, 267 the strike rate, not even dismissed twice. So clearly, Stoinis has had the wood over Chahar. Again surprising. But Stoinis has that ability to hit long sixes. So this is again going to be these two battles, Stoinis versus Chahar, and Bishnoi versus Livingstone is going to be they could define the contest today in the middle overs.
Okay, then in the death overs, ARSHDEEP Singh versus Deepak Hooda. Again, ARSHDEEP Singh hasn't got as many wickets, but he's been economical. Look at that economy at death, 5.66. That's gold.
Absolutely. ARSHDEEP, very underrated bowler, very, very underrated bowler. He's performed well, in the last few seasons of the IPL also. And an economy rate of 5.66 in the death overs, it's not only excellent, it is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's the best in the tournament by far. So, ARSHDEEP Singh versus Deepak Hooda. Again, Deepak Hooda, if you see, Deepak Hooda has played a couple of good cameos, although his overall strike rate in the tournament, I was surprised to see, is less than 130. That's also because when he's come out to bat, the team has lost a few wickets. But again, Deepak Hooda versus ARSHDEEP Singh, given what Deepak Hooda is capable of and what ARSHDEEP Singh has done in the death overs, could be a very interesting battle in the death overs. It could make a difference of 10 to 20 runs, which defines IPL contests.
Of course, all of that changes if KL Rahul ends up scoring 100 straight off as we wait for him to come out to the middle. Okay, what can we expect from the MCA Stadium in Pune? The captain's already, who's won the toss, has opted to bowl first, but 4-3 is for the team batting first. So it's advantage for the team batting first by just a bit. Nevertheless, this trend that we're seeing now, which is probably something that we'll continue to see even in the future in this T20 format, is teams and captains wanting to chase. Unless there is something very different in the conditions, batting first or second, it's really about wanting to have a score in mind, a target in mind, and going about the chase.
Yeah, that's because
also, I think also about, because today captains believe they can chase anything.
Absolutely. That's become a norm in, all T20 cricket, whether it's IPL, International, World T20, wherever, all leagues, mostly, captains want to win the toss, have a target in mind, plan their strategy while chasing, and then gun the target down. Batting first, a lot of captains and team managements, a little hesitant. They do not really know what is a good score. They don't know how to get about a good score. So I understand what the mentality is. Although sometimes what happens is, if you keep chasing, irrespective of the wicket and team combination, then it could be counterproductive. So especially if dew is not a concern. So Pune 4-3 to batting first. Although the captain winning today is against chasing, average first inning score is in the low 170s. Although I think that will be broken today.
Yeah.
Also, Pacers have enjoyed, not surprisingly, the conditions there, especially in the power play. And as Danny Morrison said in his pitch report, there is extra bounce and pace in this wicket. So one can expect the Pacers to have a bit more say, especially in the power play.
So KL Rahul and Quinton de Kock open the innings for Lucknow Super Giants. And like we've been saying, the top order has been fantastic for them. KL Rahul already having scored 200s in the tournament. Can he score another 100 today against his former team, against a team that he has scored maximum number of runs for in IPL? So it'll be interesting. We've seen what some of the players have done against the former teams. Case in point, Kuldeep Yadav, who's already taken 8 wickets against Kolkata Knight Riders. Can KL Rahul now score runs? News9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to, and time for some predictions. So Nikhil, let's give our predictions. What do you think will be the first innings score, and who's going to be your top scorer?
Wow. 185, and I think top scorer, I'm not going beyond KL Rahul. So 185, Rahul. Okay,
I would think, oh my gosh, this is so difficult. I would think KL Rahul, Quinton de Kock partnership, 75.
Okay.
Total score, 190.
Okay.
And Lucknow Super Giants will win.
By?
Come on. Okay. I mean,
30 runs.
Yeah.
I think they succumb under pressure.
Let's make it more specific. 36 runs.
36 runs. Fair enough. Okay. That's it. So that's that.
That's that. You agree with me?
I agree with you. I think the margin, it won't be a close match. I think they'll succumb under pressure.
Also then, coming back to that same point of why teams are looking to chase first, especially batting against sides like Lucknow Super Giants, who can just, bat the other team out of the match. If they do end up scoring a really huge total, then scoreboard pressure is something. So I don't understand this, but then again, what do we know? So yeah, that's it on this special. Thank you so much, Nikhil. News9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to if you want to get the latest from the world of sports. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.